and I'm going to see if this is going to work. If it doesn't, it's not a big deal, but I kind of thought it would be fun to show this. Let's see if it works. Are we going to get lucky? Highly doubt it, but we might. Let's hope this audio works. Oh my God, I finally did it. Oh man. Well, I wanted to be able to go on a celebratory first flight with Julia, but we need some insurance stuff worked out. But today, it's finally over. The saga has concluded. There is a lot to this story, unfortunately, that I will at some point try to break down, because there's a lot that I want to debrief about, and a lot of things that I think are kind of important, or at least that I want to share with other people. This was not easy, and it took a long time, and it was, yeah, I mean, it was crazy, just a crazy experience, and I'm just really happy that this is finally done. So thank you everybody that supported me throughout this whole process. It's not over yet, but the big first hurdle is over with. Finally a private pilot, and could not be any more excited. Thanks, guys. Okay, that was just like a little obviously run and gun thing. I not planning on I don't know, that was not, yeah. So I did it. I finally passed. Oh, thank you guys. Thank you. I mean, this, other than tell my family, ramming this stream down the internet's throat, despite what you guys saw, the technical difficulties, which are so fitting that I had. I wanted to thank all of you guys for helping me out and being one of the main reasons why I kept going. It was just a freaking mess. And because I just passed today, like it was just finished today, I don't have really anything together, like timeline and stuff. But let's forget that the original one happened. Okay, the original check ride, the DPE, the whole that, like in November. Let's pretend that didn't happen. In the last 2 weeks, I have gone to my check ride 3 times. I am so emotionally freaking drained. C Junk, thank you very much, man. Below minimums, thank you. All you guys. Dave, thank you. Ryan, Vatsim, Wayne, thank you. Raven, Titanium Druid, Dr. Ocean. Who else did I miss? Eagle 11, thank you. And thank you for the bits below as well. Ryan, thank you guys for the patience. With the audio and stuff. Yeah, 3 times. 3 freaking times. How do I explain this? I kind of do want to have like like when everything's working uh, explanation of all this, because I hope that all of the pain and agony that I went through can save somebody from even a little bit of pain and agony. Oh my god. Yeah, it so Ryan, it was such a WTF. Brad like was like, dude, did you break mirrors when you were a kid, or like how many cats did you walk in front of, and um, just just so ridiculous. Julia, you want to say hi? On the ground. We're having. Oh, I mean, you saw serious technical difficulties.
Oh, still?
Well, yeah, it's technically difficult, but this.
No. Well, I'll take that too.
I don't even remember what the dates are anymore. Honestly, I have everything written down. Um, I did my oral. I went to the oral exam, and that was really stressful. uh, it was really friggin' long day. Um, really tiring, and I think we're. Is X-Plane about to launch? No. I'm Eagle. I am definitely about to. I need the biggest freaking beverage ever. Um, well, I started today at around 2. It was about like 2:30, and then I finished really not much longer after that. Um, so the I don't even know where to start. I really got screwed up by the audio thing. So I have to like collect my thoughts for a second here. Uh, say bye-bye to all your fun spending budget now. Dude, I'm okay, what is that? I'm saying hello to all my This is a joke, right? Are you are you effing kidding me? Live look at how the first one went. Let's get me moved over here. Julia, do you remember what time when the oral was?
The first one?
Yeah.
November?
No. With like the yeah. Come on. Do you have that time? Oh my god. I should probably zoom in would help. All right. We'll just say right there. All right. B7, thank you so much for the raid. Hello. Ryan, you're timed out. What was that about bad luck? Um, there's a lot of bad luck involved.
I actually don't know what that was.
Thank you, B7. Melvin, thank you. All right, I'm gonna try to recap this as best I can. If anybody has a question, I mean, I'm just happy that this is effing done. So I'm not going to. This isn't like a recap every question or everything. But if you do have a question, if you have a check ride coming up, you know, I don't know how applicable my experience was, but just because, yeah, I will stop trying to clarify what I'm about to say and just say it. What's up, Max? All right, so the oral was done whenever. I didn't tell anybody about it, which was really really great advice that Max, um, Citation Max, gave me after the November debacle. He's like, "Look, man, I know that you enjoy sharing everything with people on stream and Discord and stuff, but the reality is it adds people knowing adds extra stress on it, whether you know it or not, or feel it or not, I should say. And I totally get it now, but at the time, um, I you guys have been along with so much of my studying and everything that it made sense. It made total sense um, to tell you guys like, hey, my check ride's coming up. February 13th was the day before Valentine's Day. Kenny, thank you, man. Thank you very much, Max. I just joined the stream. What are you talking about? Uh, well, straight. I just got my private pilot's license today, a couple hours ago. So it was February 13th, and the day was February 13th. I'm going to see if this is going to work. Remind me later. And I'm going to go desktop. Start now. It'd be super cool if this works. Kind of does work. All right. I have to be kind of careful. So this is the day of the first check ride. The first round. Brad and I had actually brought over the plane to ACI East, which is where we're at in the sim. And this was let's see here. This was okay. This isn't the actual plane. I didn't take a picture of it, but this is essentially what 176 looked like the night before. So my check ride was the 13th. The plane had the dash completely removed on February 13th as of 3 a.m. 3:30 a.m. Pilot, thank you so much for the subscription. That's what it looked like. It had the wires everywhere. It was a total freaking nightmare. Actually, I take that back. I do have a picture. This is check rides tomorrow. I'm not joking you that this is this is my check ride is tomorrow. I go into the hangar and this is the plane. Oh my God. So there's the plane. I go through the oral. I wanted to post this picture really bad. I mean, I'm like talking to you guys on, Discord, and I'm Ryan, when you asked me about that, I think you said like that sounds like a check ride question. It was for something, the four flight things. You will probably remember what it was. And you said that's a pretty specific question. I bet you're preparing for a check ride, and I was. It was like in a couple of days. So this was my prep for the oral, uh, and well, this is an aside, but poked around that after we finished doing a little prep. So okay, moving on. So this was being put in the plane, which is why the dash was completely removed. We had the GI 275 installed in the plane, and straight cash. I am just going to fly as much as I can with Julia. that's pretty much it. Neuromancer, thank you so much, man. Thank you for stopping by. Sleep well. So not only was the plane disassembled at 3 o'clock in the morning, it was also getting a new instrument that wasn't quite right. It worked enough for what we needed it to do, but didn't have all the functionality. And the only time I really got to play with it was taxiing from the west side to the east side of ACI. Not ideal, but that was kind of, it's a pretty simple instrument. I read the book on it. Teach her to fly. Dr. Ocean, that will be happening. We're going to do some pinch hitter courses on Pilot Edge, and she's definitely going to fly. So taxiing to your check ride is not the best time to learn how an instrument works that you've never flown with. But it was simple enough. Fine, no big deal, whatever. And then this picture was actually, and if you follow me on the Instagram, you've probably seen this picture, but this was this was after. All right, let's go to X-Plane. Here is where the oral exam took place. Right on the other side of this door, technically there's some windows right here, and that is where it is. I do have a picture of the setup, I believe, that I don't know where it is. I do have a picture of the table, but all my crap laid out. I don't really have too much to say about the oral exam, really. If anyone can think of a question or anything that you might have regarding the oral, like, hey, did he go over whatever? I had a total confidence you were going to do good on the oral. Well, thanks, I don't. Yeah, and for the most part, I did do fine. There were a couple of questions that I got tripped up on. There's a few things I had to look up. You'll laugh at this, and I laugh at this now. What did I stumble on? Great question, below minimums. We're getting towards the end. It was long. It was like a 2-hour long thing. And he goes, what color are taxiway edge lights? And I went, blue? He looked at me and said, are you sure? And now I'm like, well, frick. Now I'm not sure. I don't know. And I was like, oh, it was pretty blue. I got blue. He goes, are you sure? Is that your final answer? I'm like, well, not now. Now that you say that, what the frickin' hell? Yeah, and that's one of those, I know it, but I don't. Like, if I see a taxiway edge light, I'm like, there's the taxiway, there's the runway, totally. B7, because it's such a common thing to say or to see, and at the end of a 2-hour oral exam when you're going over absolutely everything, something is going to something's going to get hung up in your brain. Uh, I mean, I can think of examples of, like something that that you look at all the time, but if someone told you, uh, hey, what shape is blank? You'd be like, really? Um, and the "Are you sure?" was like, oh, now I don't know. He goes, okay, what color are runway edge lights? He said, those are white. He goes, okay, what color are taxiway edge lights? I was like, dude. He goes, you said blue first, right? I go, yeah. And he goes, okay, it's dusk, it's at night, the lights just came on, you land on the runway, the taxiway, the runway edge lights are white, you pull off onto Juliet, and the taxiway edge lights are, I go, blue. He goes, is that your final answer? I was like, yes, they're blue. And he goes, they're blue. And the reason why he questioned me was because I didn't say it, they're blue. I said, blue? And and he wanted to see me sweat. He did laugh about it with Brad after, when they were debriefing. Brad said that he thought that was pretty funny. I didn't think it was funny. I thought I was going to die. But that was really like the main like real stressful moment of the whole oral. There were some other things in there that I was, had to look up or really kind of unsure of. But that was like the moment where I kind of felt like, oh my God, if I don't pass this goddamn thing because blue, then I am just going to, I don't know, just go fly paper airplanes or something. Stress you out, drain your brain. It's like, how do you react to stress more than you know? Yeah. There's no way he would have. No, probably not. But, that's not how I was feeling. But anyway, we go through. It was very, very, very thorough. It's just about to get good, by the way, for February 13th. So he asked one question. I don't even remember what it was, and I just, it was something kind of silly, I don't even remember what it was. I'll just make up something that's like a specific answer. So he asked, at one point, he did ask this question. I don't think it was the last one, about alcohol consumption. And he said, what, how much time between having a drink and flying? And I said 8 hours. He goes, okay. And what's the blood alcohol limit as a pilot? And I said 0.04. And he goes, yeah, I remember him saying like, yeah, 0.04. It's not that's not a lot. That's not a lot. It's half of the driving limit, and it's probably a drink, less than one drink. So yeah. And he explained that if anything happens, if you knock over a taxiway light, they blood test you like immediately. So anyway, so just pretend that that's the answer. That's the question. So, okay, what's the how long before having a drink and flying? 8 hours. Okay, good. Congratulations, Bill. You have passed the oral exam. And I'm just like, oh my God, thank God, thank God, thank God. And it was just like so much relief when he said that. Like, oh, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And that's after like 2+ hours, 2.5 hour oral exam, being like sweating and, really exhausted, really taxing. It's exhausting. Like there's no way to put it. For those of you that have done it, and some of you multiple times, like below minimums, you probably will, have had different, experiences. But for me, it was really exhausting. And to know that you're basically, everything is fair game, from weather, everything about weather, to everything about airspace, to everything about the charts. It's just freaking everything. It's tough to describe to people who haven't done it. I don't. Yeah, and it's also tough to get over the um, to get through to somebody that knows you're a pilot or flying or learning and knows you know a lot about it. Like my parents, like, oh, you'll do great. You're such a great pilot. And you know lots of stuff. And I'm like, dude, that's not how it goes. It takes it takes a brain fart for this whole thing to be done. And it could be something that and you know it, but just for whatever reason can't spit it out. That happens all the time. Um, Sounds like a bad mental state to be in, then hop into a plane and fly immediately after. It is, Ryan, could not be more true. Absolutely. It is a really bad place to be in to jump into a plane. Because you've got 2.5 hours of mental strain, and then you're not really eating, or you might stop for lunch. We didn't. We were just going to go fly. I had a couple of breakfast bars and stuff. I wouldn't fly if I had the choice whether to fly or not after that level, even if it's not connected to aviation, but it's still the same mental strain. I wouldn't elect to go fly, and not only fly, but do every maneuver in the book to ACS standards. Get freaking out of here. Yeah, Dave, there's nothing to be worried about. But you're gonna be worried. That's the only, I am gonna be the worst person to give advice on this app. I will be terrible. So I apologize. Yeah, if your instructor signs you off, you're ready to go. It just doesn't mean that you are not gonna be worried. Okay, so we're out here like this, dude. This gets even better. This gets so good. So we're here in the nice fancy FBO, and we go walk out to the plane, which is tucked in over here, nicely ready to go. I can't wait to tell you guys this. This is so effing funny. Now it's funny now. So here's our plane. It's not. I mean, this is a little bit further down the line. We were kind of where that King Air was, but let's go move it to the right. Okay. All right. So no, that's not going to work. So once the oral exam is over, the oral exam is done, and you get. I mean, even if you don't make it all the way through, you still get credit for the questions that you got right on the oral exam. But once the flight portion of the exam starts, everything's fair game. The oral questions still continue. I know a lot of you already know this, so bear with me in kind of just explaining it for those that don't, and just going through what happened. So the pre-flight, I was I was a little bit I was nervous at every part of this. So I was super nervous walking up to the plane. Done it a million times, but what I didn't want to do is go too fast or not catch something and have that be an issue, because I don't know how lenient or how perfect you have to be. To me, I'm trying to absolutely be perfect at every corner. And I don't think I needed to be, but I was. And he made fun of me to Brad about how long it took me to do the pre-flight. So this is what happened. Okay. I walk up to the plane, get into the plane. I turned the batteries on. Turn that off. I lowered the flaps. I turned on all of the lights. And I did a walk around with the lights. Jonathan, what's up? So here's my lights. Checking the taxiway lights and the landing lights. Those look good. Checking the nav light and the strobe. That looks good. Those are on. Let's check out the beacon. Beacon looks really good. Beacon looks good. And we're going to go over here. Okay, that nav light and that strobe light. Those look good. Did you check the rear-mounted white taillight? You know what, below minimums? I did, but I didn't because it was not illuminated. So when I was walking around the tail, I didn't notice it and I forgot about it. So the examiner says, is that light out? And I went, oh crap. I did the little cup thing, you know, to see if it was like the sun, and I couldn't see it because it's white or something. And it was out. So the white nav light is out. He says to me, do we need that to fly? I said, well, we're flying during the day, so no, we don't need that. And he says, okay, what do we need to do in order to fly? So I said, well, we would need to consult 91-215. He goes, okay. So now what? I was like, well, I am going to go placard this and write it in the logbook, and I'll be right back. He goes, all right, sounds good. So on my check ride, I had to go into ACI where the logbooks were. I had to get. They had a. One of the guys that works at the front desk at ACI is a student pilot, so he knew exactly what I was asking for. And he's like, oh, you need an in-op sticker, right? I go, yeah. He goes, would a label maker work? And I said, yeah, a label maker would actually be fantastic. So he prints me out an in-op sticker, and you can use a Post-it note. I went in there to get a Post-it note. So I enacted 91-215 on my effing check ride. I placarded it, in-opt. Deactivating it, you can deactivation actually, you can, for a light, means turning it off, switching it off. So yeah, I just put the sticker on there, wrote it in the logbook. Dr. Ocean, you can, but you can just turn it off. If it's a one, good thing they didn't care which reg it was. It's 91-213. All right, I just said it wrong. Okay, so 91-213. Later, Brad was like, I have never heard of anybody actually 91-213ing during a check ride. Like, of course you would have to. And it's like, you know what, whatever. All right. So let's get back to the pre-flight inspection. And I'm going to go to, because the walk around on this actually is the pre-flight for a Cessna 172. Here's the pre-flight. So I did all this stuff, right? We already did that. So check the baggage door. I actually leave this one open and do that, lock that last. So I leave it open typically. So we check that, right? The very next thing is the elevator. So we're going to check to make sure that the elevator is free and correct. Now I've checked two things so far with the lights. So we did the lights thing. That was a whole thing. 91-213 does not go by quickly. At this part of the pre-flight, noticed a little something. When I checked, let's see if I can do this. It's probably not going to show up here. There is a hinge right here, right where that little rivet is in the dark area. So there's a hinge, and there's also a what the hell do they call it? Well, I don't know if this is the right term for it, but let's pretend that it is. A bonding strap. Thank you very much. Bonding strap. Adone got it. Yep. Bonding strap. There's I was going to say static strap, but yeah, bonding strap. The bonding strap on the left side of the elevator was severed. It was broken. So fan-frickin-tastic. I am sweating balls at this point. Like, the oral kicked my ass. The nav light was out. And now there's a bonding strap that's broken. So I'm just like, you've got to be freaking kidding me, man. So he's asking me, okay, what do you do? Can we fly? And I was like, no, we can't fly. He goes, okay, why? I go, I actually don't know. Oh, don't you got asked that on your CFI checkride? That's so funny. Like, otherwise you would never need to know what that strap is. So he goes, what does that do? And I said, well, that's for static. That's for static electricity to pass through that. And he goes, okay, so do we need it? And I said, I don't know, but let me think about this for a second. And there was actually a jet right behind us that had VGs on it. And I said, this seems like it's something, 91205. I said, this seems like a piece of equipment that, like VGs, if they're installed on the airplane, you need a certain amount of them, and I don't know how many static wicks this plane requires, but I know where to go and look for it. Yeah, exactly, below minimum. So he goes, okay, well, where are you going to go look for it? And I said, I'm going to go into the POH. Was the DPE being helpful about this or more of a dick? No, he was fine. He was being helpful to a point. Like he was testing, he was kind of like prodding me for knowledge that I had versus like what I would actually do. Like if I identify something on the plane that's not airworthy, I'm not flying the plane, I'm calling a mechanic and figuring it out there. But he wanted me to go beyond just, like what would you actually do in this situation? He wanted me to go to well, why, or what could we do, or whatever, He probably felt bad. This poor guy gets a broken ass plane for his check ride. Yeah. So the POH has a full list of required equipment, and it's not actually. We're calling it required. Probably is a little bit misleading, but has a list of equipment. I'm gonna see if I can pull it up. I'm not gonna be able to. That might be what it's called, below minimums. Let's see, Cessna 172 SPOH. I don't know what this is. This is kind of getting a little bit into the weeds of what we actually did. I want to say it's section 6. I don't want to spend too much time looking through this equipment list. Did I get that right? Holy shit, I did. Section 6. Okay. It's like a really stupid list. That's all the weight and balances. Here he goes. Here he goes. Okay. So this is the equipment list right here. I may not actually be able to find it because it was bare. It took me a while to find it at the time as well. So let's see if we can find it. Air conditioning, altitude, alert, communications, navcom, avionics, electrical power, equipment's furnishing. Because it wasn't it wasn't super intuitive where it was.
Hey,
Sun visor, baggage
bird.
cargo,
Buddy.
ELT,
Hi.
fire protection, fuel, landing gear, lights, navigation. Like, I'm doing this on my check ride, by the way. Steaks. Thank you so much for the subscription. Hello. That's the POH you use? Nice. I feel like we're getting kind of close here. Let's see. Horizontal situation, vacuum. Like, I'm going through this. Like, are you freaking kidding me? Fuselage, propeller, power plant's not there. Exhaust, miscellaneous. I think it may even be in miscellaneous. Leather, sidewall, tire, polish. Nope. Geez, avionics. It's somewhere in there. I may have passed it. That's annoying. I mean, this is what I mean. I had to go through this list like a couple times, going like, "Where the hell is it?" And he didn't. I mean, honestly, he didn't know either. He's like looking and kind of like looking over my shoulder, going like, whatever. Control F bonding strap. That's not a bad idea. Static. I don't think it's because it's not bonding strap. Now this is where there's some interpretation going on, and the interpretation is up to interpretation. Here it is. There you go. Thank you. Below minimums. Thank you. Okay. Static discharge wicks. This is what I found right here. It is a set of 10, and the S right here says standard. So there, I haven't got a full explanation for this. We're kind of, it was not important, so we're going to come back to it at some point. But basically you've got the wicks are something different. But let me, this is kind of where it gets a little, the interpretation could be argued that this was done improperly or something. But yeah, and Ryan and Below Minimums got it right there. But the S right here, the standard versus required, like the R is for required equipment. Standard equipment doesn't mean that it's not required. And it tells you right here. So you've got required items or equipment for FAA certification, standard equipment items, optional equipment items, or optional equipment items which are in addition to required or standard items. So this is the interpretation that we kind of came up with after the fact, and not the examiner. That required is something that the airplane needs to have in order to be airworthy as an FAA airplane. Not that it, so just that. If it's a required piece of equipment, it needs to be on the plane. So, what are some good R's? Like an obvious R. Voltage, a battery, obviously. Pilot seat, I guess, is required. And this is the tomato flames kind of stuff. Man, I need to watch your streams more. I never knew any of this. Well, thank you, Dr. Ocean. I mean, that's why I love sharing this stuff, because it's fun to go over, solidify in my brain, and if anyone, gets any use out of it, awesome. Pilot's Operating Handbook, that's required. ELT, that's required. So tomato flames, all that stuff that, the fuel gauge, all that crap is required to be an airplane. But if it's standard on your airplane, then that item is required to be on your airplane because it's part of its airworthiness certificate. So believe it or not, the sun visor on a 172 is standard equipment and therefore needs to be on the airplane in order for it to fly. Fire extinguisher, standard, you need it on there. Right seat control, standard, you need it in there. You can have a plane can exist without right seat controls, but if your plane was standard with it, then it needs to be. So it's a crazy, when you look at this list, it's insane, right? Alternate static source. It's not required by the FAA. So if you were to develop your own airplane and you did not have an alternate static source on there, it would be fine. But if you have a plane that is issued an airworthy certificate with an alternate static source, it needs to be operational, it needs to be there. Might be interesting to look at those. So that's what I learned going through this bonding strap thing. So there's part of the interpretation is, okay, so the bonding strap is not connected here. Are these two static wicks, they're now operational? There needs to be 10. So in that POH, we just saw that there are 10, and this actually doesn't have them on the wings. Awesome. We're not airworthy. You've got 1, 2 on the left elevator, 1, 2 on the right elevator, 1, 2 on the rudder. So there you've got 6, and then you have 2 on the right aileron and 2 on the left aileron, which are not showing up, are not on here. So those are the 10. So we made the determination that if this bonding strap is broken, then these 2 static wicks are not operational, and therefore we only have 8 operational static wicks. Ipso facto, we can't fly. I always say there's no fire extinguisher in there, so we don't have fires in this plane. This thing didn't change, did it? There we go. So we determined that the plane was not airworthy at this time. We got on the phone, talked to Brad, who talked to the mechanic, who is on the other side of the airport over there. This was in the middle of the day. It's like 1, 2 o'clock. 2. Let me take that back. It's like 2, 3 o'clock. It's really busy. So we get on the phone, and he was like, "Look, we got to take the plane. We have to taxi the plane over to the ACI West from ACI East. Bring it to the maintenance garage. It might be a quick fix, but he doesn't know what tools he needs, and we just need to taxi over there." Okay. Busy day at John Wayne. Taxi across could take 2 minutes. It could take 15 minutes. It's taken people longer. I've heard it taking significantly longer. It's 3:30. 3 o'clock. Let's just call it 3 o'clock. I think it was actually just before 3. I may even be able to tell you what time it was. It plays a part in the rest of the telling of this story. 15:52. Okay. So it is at this point 350. Is that even right? Yeah, 350. So it was late. So yeah, I guess I was over there for a while. All right. So we continue the pre-flight. We did everything. We put in a call and to the maintenance guy, and we continued the pre-flight. Did everything, went through, checked all the boxes, gave him his passenger briefing, went through the whole thing, all the way up until the point we would get in the plane and go fly. At that point, we were deciding whether or not we taxi the plane across to the other side of the runway or not. And it's 3 o'clock. Let's say it's 3 o'clock at this time. The sunset for that day was scheduled for about 5:30. Night flying starts obviously an hour after that, but you need during civil twilight or dusk, whatever, you need to have the lights on. For those of you that are keeping score at home, we also are missing a light. And Below Minimums guessed the other portion of this. During the landing competition video, I got in 2 full stop landings at night. So I was 1 landing short of being night current. So even if we had gotten the light fixed and the bonding strap replaced, if we ran into time, I wasn't current and there was no way to get current. So we called it. We called it there, discontinuance, and that was it. It was a good idea, and it was really the only idea. It was the only option that we had. It was just the only option because we didn't know how long it was going to take for us to get over there, and we didn't want to have to rush through everything else. So there was really no way that we were going to force the rest of that check ride in on that day. So the plane now goes to maintenance and goes and gets fixed. That is chapter 1 down. Okay. Who's ready for chapter 2? Who wants to hear chapter 2? Let's go here. Oh, this is kind of cute. So we go the next day. We were scheduled. So check ride was on Thursday. I need a cigarette first. I think I shared this. There are only 3 chapters. This is so we were the check ride was on Thursday. We were leaving for Seattle on Friday, which like. I could have flown on Sunday, but we were out of town. This is my nephew. This is the first plane that he ever sat in. He was very, very nervous to sit in this plane. And of course, obviously he's cute. Yeah, he's a cute little kid. He's loving it. He loves airplanes. It's hilarious. But this is the same avionics package that 176 had. It's pretty funny. Did you check the lights and bonding strap on that one? I'm like checking that on every plane now. So that was pretty cute. And this is actually this was where I did my first Discovery flight up in Seattle and Tacoma, Washington. So this is KTIW that we went to. Is where my parents lived. So this isn't the exact plane, but we did see the plane that we first flew. This is where my dad and I flew out of when I was a kid. So that was kind of fun. All right. The plane got fixed. If anybody remembers the those 2 night flights. Is this gonna work? No. Those 2 night flights that Brad and I did. One was the cool sunset one, and then the other one was the landing competition one. Those were night current, yeah. But they did more work on the GI 275. So the entire dash was removed again. The night before. So this is no, I take that back. I take that back. No, those two night landings or 2 night flights were before the oral one. That's right. Okay, I have to even get my story straight. It was actually a pretty quick fix. Yeah, it was a quick fix. So it's an iPad mini. It gets, dude, wait. I'm even remembering stuff. This is a joke. Okay. This is an absolute joke. So we have the continuance scheduled for Tuesday, a week and a half from, from the oral and discontinued flight. Mother of God. Okay. So it's scheduled for Tuesday. The plane is getting fixed. And Brad calls me on Monday. Okay, we had gone up for a flight. This was the flight actually that we did. We did a quick little flight with the 275 just to just to go up. God, I cannot believe this. I get a call from Brad on Monday, and they're trying to get the plane done. Brad says, "Okay, get ready." So Monday again, we had a discontinuance because of maintenance problems. My check ride is tomorrow. It's Tuesday, or the check ride is on Tuesday, and it's a Monday. So I'm at work. Brad calls me on Monday and says, "Okay, so there's a switch. I don't even want to tell you which switch it is. It doesn't matter. But there's a switch. It was like the avionics switch. One of the avionics switches is broken. Doesn't work. You turn on the battery and the avionics come on. Like half of the avionics come on." He said, the good news is it's a really quick and easy fix. The bad news is they're not going to have the part in time. Oh my God. It's like, so I don't know. Like, he's like, I'm sorry, dude. Like, just like, we're gonna have to, like, I'll call you back, but yeah, it's not looking good. So I'm just like, oh my God. Okay. So I'm like texting and like going like, okay, it's canceled again. There's a switch. Julia's like, you got to be freaking kidding me.
Hey,
he calls me back,
buddy.
in about 10 minutes. Below minimums, thank you so much for the gifted sub to Dave. This is where having a pool of planes is nice. Yeah, it's a good point, Ryan. So I'm like making preparations for not flying tomorrow, and Brad calls me right back and he goes, "Hold on. They're flying the plane to Chino. They might have it done tonight." Oh my God. He goes, "What we're going to do is when they're coming back, we're going to go to the airport. We're going to fly it, make sure everything's good. and we'll be good to go for your check ride tomorrow. So awesome. I texting with a guy who took the plane to Chino. They get the plane fixed. They bring the plane back. I watch the plane come in at night. Two guys get out of it. I get in it. We just like do a quick little pre-flight, and we buzz out of there, playing with the GI 275, and fly around a little bit, debrief. He's like, all right, you're like, we're on, man. Like, go home, go to sleep. Everything's gonna be fine. I'll button the plane up or whatever. So then this is the next day. So here's the plane. This is, what day is this?
Watch the birdie.
The 25th. This is the 25th. Hey, Iowa. Yeah, so this is a week ago. This is last week. And this is the plane in the hangar as I am pre-flighting it. Yeah, 25th. Since I did all the pre-flight stuff, all I had to do is I just had to pre-flight. I could pre-flight the plane without him and have it ready to go. So when we debriefed, we said, okay, you pre-flight the plane. I've seen that. I've heard your passenger briefing. We'll meet at the plane, and we went through like, here's what we're gonna do. Here's all the stuff that we're gonna do. This is just so stupid. This is the plane. Like, I had pre-flighted the plane, brought it out. We staged it. This is me before.
Hey, bird. Whoa, buddy.
Ryan, thank you for the gifted sub to Raven Black. Are those audio cues working? I can't hear them. I don't know if they're actually the sound effects are working. My audio is working. Okay. My monitor, my PC audio, I can't hear anything, so I don't have a monitor. So here is the plane before the flight portion. So we brief, we do we talk about the weather of that for that day, and the weather was not good. There was a AirMet Tango for the whole region that was expiring at 2, and we were scheduled to leave at 2. I'm gonna, just because am I on Pilot Edge? No, okay. I'm gonna move her over here. You guys, I cannot tell you how much it means to me to be telling you guys all this, and for so many of you like listening. All right. The weather was not good. But how do I put the weather was not good. Okay, yeah. So we have an AirMet Tango going across the entire West Coast and whatever. There was no clouds. Is this the day that huge cloud was at the airport? No. The big Anvil one. No. When was that? I don't even remember when that was. But no, it was not bad sim. That picture was pretty cool though. So we had this big old Airmet Tango, and I'm gonna. Okay. Big old Airmet Tango. Chino. I mean, it was just bumpy. It was bumpy. It was windy. They were reversed in the morning. They had flipped it back. The Tafts were saying that John Wayne was going to calm down later. The briefer said it was going to calm down later. All indications were that the weather was getting better. The winds were getting better. Long Beach was calm, so that was fine. Ontario and Chino were a mess, and there was actually a SIGMET over the Inland Empire, so it was like really bumpy. As I am starting the airplane and getting everything ready to go, in the corner of my eye, I see three airliners abort landings, 3 go-arounds, just in the span of me starting the plane and getting the ATIS. 3 go-arounds. But again, weather is supposed to be improving. It's fine. But yeah, not a good sign. Long Beach is calm. Weather is improving. So we go out and we do check ride. I am going to pull up my logbook. 25th. Yeah, so you can see here's the night before flight. We just go do some turns and get out of there. And here is the 25th. Okay. I am going to open this up and go here. And we're going to look at this. So, all right. Check ride begin. We do our run up, taxi to 20 right. Look at that beautiful pattern entry. Don't look at that part yet. Don't look at that part yet. Here's the check. Here is my check ride. This is what my check ride looked like. Once I get the sim back up and running, I'm gonna do this in the sim. We're gonna do a stream and go over, relive the check ride here. 3 turns around a point. No. So we climb out, going on my flight plan. Right here, I have an alternator failure. These are orbits to divert. I got my diversion. We're going to Long Beach to divert. Going to Long Beach. We got extended like hella into Long Beach. Do a regular landing. We're on the ground at Long Beach. I prep for the maneuvers, and we do a soft field takeoff and climb up. And now we're going to go out into the practice area to begin the maneuvers. I did not GoPro it. No, they don't allow you to do that. Let's see. Sometimes you've got to do 3 to make the point done right. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, so circling for the ATIS and for the how long is it going to take and blah blah blah. Well, circling for the checklist. So I have an alternator failure. I have to go through that checklist, make sure everything is good. We don't have anything. It's not coming back alive, so we're gonna divert. So that's what the orbit was. We got extended like hella. Let's see. What did I miss? 3. Yeah, I just did 1 turn. The turnaround point was just a single turn. So then we did the maneuvers. Here's some clearing turns. Here is a steep turn. It just keeps getting better. Does that steep turn, how steep does that look? Does that look like I ended up on my heading? Anybody want to dissect that trace? This is a steep turn to the right. Looks like you blew past it, right? Does not look like a 360-degree turn. No, you'd be right. This airspace, this little bit of airspace right here there's going to be some arguments to this. This is only what I was told, okay? This is not my, this information did not come from me. This airspace right here is the most traversed airspace in the country. So, mother fricker. The Long Beach practice area is notorious for being a shit show. And there are constantly guys that are not on flight following, doing maneuvers, and just stupid. No, I did clear. These are the clearing turns right here. You can see right here, cleared to the left, cleared to the right. Okay, I'm good to go. As soon as I got to here, I get a traffic call out from ATC that somebody was below me climbing like in my direction. So I tell the DPE, I say, I'm bailing out of this one. He goes, why? I go, there's somebody below me and I'm about to not be able to see him. He goes, okay, cool. So I bailed out of that one and he's like, okay, good. Like, okay, that was good. I go, all right, thanks. So I go, let's try that again. So we go, you can see how much further out we went because we wanted to get away from that area. So he just goes, let's just move further southeast. So we move down here and I do the steep turn there. You can see where the wind is doing. I mean, that trace looks really bad, but the wind is making it look worse than I think it was. So I do that steep turn. We're good to go. Come out here. There's one to the left. That one's good to go. We turn back around. What do we do here? Another clearing. Oh, yeah. Okay. So now we're about to do power on stall. And right when I got here, there was about 1,000 feet above us, there was an Airbus inbound on John Wayne. So I'm like, I'm not going to do a power on stall with that much awake turbulence. Rocky, what's happening? Did I miss anything here? Did you have to do an emergency descent? Yep. Remember, steep turns won't be symmetrical on ground track. I've had some that were, but yeah, I guess you're right. I don't. Okay, so I turn around. Don't want wake turbulence. Here's my power on stall. You could probably see if I pull up the track here. Yeah, there's the power on stall. You can see there's the altitude and the speed and the dip right there. So there's the stall. I love being able to debrief to this this degree. So then we go into another clearing turn, and then this little bump right there is my power off stall right there. We'll pull that up and you can see there's the power off stall right there. Nope. Right there. So power off stall is there. I'm going to kind of go through the rest of this pretty quickly here. So then slow flight, flying around in slow flight. And then here is our emergency descent. So we're on fire, got down, land on a tanker. Here's the turnaround to point. That one, I'm pretty happy with how that one went. You're low. You're low. Yeah, I'm at 1,000 feet, dude. I was at 1,000 feet for that whole thing. Yeah, 1,000 feet over water, offshore. Little bit sketch. So there is the turnaround a point. Then we're gonna climb up. Oh yeah, that's right. So turn around a point, and then at that point, he fails my georeference on the iPad, and we're under the hood. So we do instrument maneuvers, and he has me do lost comms, not lost comms, lost procedure, and then now we pick up. We got georeferencing on there again. So now we're back, and now we do emergency engine out in flight right here, and then we're into John Wayne. Now, you know that I am very transparent with you guys. I made a mistake. I made a mistake. And it was a very it was a mistake in judgment and what I attempted to do. I will admit that 100% that it was my mistake. I take responsibility for it. I didn't do it right. I did not make the right decision. That being said, with everything that has happened up until this point, we had the light, the nav light. We had the bonding strap. We had the GI 275 going in 3:30 in the morning the night before. We have the switch not working. We have all this stuff adding up where I am feeling like, dude, I cannot catch a break here. I just want this to get done. Like I just want this to be done so bad that I just, I got done all of these maneuvers. Everything is good to go. We're going back to John Wayne. We're going to go. All we had to do left at this point is the landings at John Wayne. Soft field, short field, and no flap slip, and to go around. 4 laps. 4 laps at John Wayne in the pattern, and that was it. I'm gonna jump ahead to after, and I mean you can tell, yeah, you can tell. I was just gonna say, Ryan, that you can tell that this is not 4 laps. Tech, thank you very much. Yeah, and this was also the 25th, and I finished it today. Exactly. The examiner told Brad after this flight that everything everything except I got screwed by the weather. I was getting worried only seeing a landing at Long Beach and one at John Wayne. Yeah. This was the situation. The weather that was supposed to be improving at John Wayne had gotten worse. I didn't know it because I was busy flying. The examiner was actually looking at the weather during the flight. He was peeking at it, and he could see that it was going to be a challenge going back into John Wayne. I get the ATIS, and at the point that my plane is at right now, the winds at John Wayne were 150 at 9. 150 at 9. 9 knots is not light, but it's, not the worst thing in the world. I'm thinking I'm going straight down, it's a crosswind. It's a little bit of a crosswind component, but I just beat Brad at a landing competition at John Wayne at night after not flying for 2.5 months. I have a lot of confidence in my ability to land the plane. And yeah, 50 off 9 knots, no big deal. Exactly, Ryan. Yeah, not really that concerned. It starts to get bumpy. Okay, this is so jacked up, you guys are not even going to believe it. I am coming on the downwind. Right about here, a 172 gets on the phone, on the radio, and says, tower, Cessna, whatever, I would like to switch to 20 right. We're coming in. It's really windy. And I'm like, ew, okay. Maybe he's, just getting some currency and it's too bumpy. He sounded like an older guy. Like, maybe he just doesn't want to get beat up in the pattern. It's no big deal. I continue. Still pretty bumpy. Soft field landing. First landing at John Wayne, soft field. So I need to be, I'm looking at 65 knots, full flaps, and let's get this thing down nice and soft. No problem. The soft field landing actually doesn't have any length restrictions, so there's no landing point. It's just get it down soft, pull back, whatever. Let's look at the data. I am at it's showing GPS altitude of 770. I'm descending at this point past the beam the numbers. I'm descending, and I'm at 73 knots is my ground speed according to ForeFlight. 73 knots. I will just tell you right now, Finbar, thank you very much, Finbar. I really appreciate it. I will tell you right now that my airspeed during pretty much this entire pattern, this entire descent, is about 65 knots. I slowed it down nicely. I wasn't at 65 here, but I was coming down to 65. But keep in mind that I'm looking at an airspeed indicated of 65 knots this entire time. So let's go a little bit further here. Whoa, that's a little bit too much. So there's base. You also notice that this is a lot more squared off pattern than I'm used to at John Wayne. So it just keeps wanting to jump around at me. Is it gonna do it? All right. Hold it right there. I'm looking at 65. I'm at 500 feet. and there's 70 knots, and you can see it starts accelerating. Now we're at 79. That's pretty slow. Indicated airspeed. I do 90 on the downwind. Yeah, I do. Yeah, I didn't mean that on the. I'm not 65 on the downwind. My approach speed I'm eyeing is 65, and when I get to 65, I hold 65 the whole time. So yeah, I didn't mean that I was 65 this whole way, but like when I get to 65, I am stuck on 65 for the whole time. So then we turn on to final, and you can maybe see what is happening. If you see here how far over the extended center line I get. Now this point, I am at 230 feet. I have a ground speed of 81 knots at this point and an indicated airspeed of 65. It jumps up to, I think, 83, 84 or something here. At this point, let's see if you can catch it. I saw that 83 in there. At this point right here, the tower comes on the radio and says the following freaking thing. Again, I have it written down on my knee pads still. 150 at 9. At this point, I'm over the grass. I am doing almost 80 knots over the ground at 100 feet. And the tower says winds 050 at 11, gusting 17. So I am a 2 point whatever hours into this check ride going down the ACS gauntlet. And Brad is watching in the hangar the track, and he's like, dude, you guys did everything. He didn't give you a break on anything in terms of like, okay, yeah, you don't need to do one to the left, or yeah, you're fine. The bonding strap is good. The bonding strap is secure. My nav light is good. So all I hear, I'm focused on this soft field landing. I got a little bit rattled from getting shoved off center line. All I'm thinking is soft field landing. All I hear, because I'm so used to it, John Wayne, hearing 210, 220, 190, at 4, at 6, whatever. I don't register 050. I register 11 gusting 17. So I continued. Yeah, I was at 2.1 at this point below. Just like my brain is just dripping out of my ear. So I am at 80, almost 90 miles an hour over the ground. Yeah, 050 at 17. I'm thinking if it's 190, 11 gusting 17, this is going to be a short one. Like, this is going to be awesome. But it is a quartering tailwind, and as you zoom in to this extremely accurate, here's my takeoff down center line. Here's my landing with a quartering tailwind of 17 knots on my soft field. And you can see the point at which I touch down. 50 is about, oh, well, yeah, it's about runway because I'm on the ground. Where do we land? You can actually see where it was past Juliet. It was somewhere past Juliet. So because I was oversaturated, tired, exhausted, overly exhausted, I didn't understand. It didn't register to me what that wind call was and the ground speed discrepancy between the airspeed indicator. So I landed, I landed with a 17 knot gusting quartering tailwind. I got it down, but it was outside of ACS standards. Did he expect you to go around instead of committing to the landing? I should have gone around instead of committing to the landing, is what I should have done. But I didn't. I was so excited and anxious and eager to get this check ride over with that, going into John Wayne, I'm like, there's no stopping me now, man. Like, we're here. We're at John Wayne. We're ready to go. And I landed outside of the ACS standards for the soft field because of a 17 knot tailwind that I didn't properly identify. There were 3 or 4, I guess, outcomes. Let's say that there are 3 outcomes that would have been better than what actually did happen. 1, I could have gone around, reassess, say, I don't like this. Let's just get the plane on the ground safely and call it. That was 1. Did the ATIS only announce once? Yeah, well, the ATIS didn't change. The winds changed. The winds changed in the 4 minutes I picked up the ATIS to when I was landing. They went from 150 at 9 to 050 at 11, gusting 17 in the 4 minutes that I got the ATIS and landed. Tower announced over the grass, I'm landing. I'm focused on my soft field. I hear 11 gusting 17. I go, I better, buckle up. We're going to put this thing down, thinking it was a headwind because I just didn't hear. I was focused and I didn't register the 050. It's coming like, hello. So I should have gone around, reassessed in the downwind, and got it down. He had to fail me because the controller couldn't wait another 10 seconds. No, Brad says you got screwed by the weather, and if you didn't, you got screwed by the tower for not flipping the runways. They shouldn't have. They arguably should not have allowed me to land once they saw that wind shift. They should have called. I mean, it's my go around. It should have been my go around, but they also could or should have called for the go around because anything that's more than 10 knot tailwind, nobody should be landing after that. And that's what Brad said afterwards. He goes, dude, I have no idea why they let you land and let a couple other planes land after you. It was just gusty and crappy. It was just, the winds were really crappy. How was the landing? The landing was like not good, but it was in that situation. Had I been landing by myself, it would have been like, well, let's not do that again. Orange Yoshi, I am a private pilot finally. In my opinion, the tower should have given you the winds earlier so that you could have made that decision over the fence. It's too late. It was no. Did you have to manually check the wind sock? That's not mandatory, right? Yeah, it's not a. Thank you, Yoshi. It's never too late to go around, and I should have and could have gone around. But I had committed myself to it. Like I said, it would have been this had it not been on a check ride. But since it was on a check ride, it was outside of ACS standards. So there's nothing he could do about it at that point. And yeah, taxi back. The other option was to go back to Long Beach, finish there, and then come back. In this situation, I'm saying, given your mental stress, you didn't have time to consider what the wind was. Yeah, but I agree, Vatsim, and I should have, though, and as far as the tower is concerned, I should have as well. It was just a hey, you have a nav light and a bonding strap out, and you're one landing short of being night current. Have fun. It was like that. That level of it just sucks. Hindsight is 2020. Yeah. Had you noticed the winds, you could have asked for discontinuance. Well, yeah. Yeah, exactly. The shittiest thing is, for ACS standards, a soft field would likely be uncontrolled and you would have overflown. Yeah. Yeah, to some extent. I mean, it's not, the ACS standards are not, it's not a real world test. You're proving technique and skill and decision making. I made a bad decision. That's the real thing. Is that I made a bad decision. So had I made a good decision, it wouldn't have mattered what field we were landing on or how we were landing. So what was the actual failure here? Landing with the tailwind, or just landing just not to the soft field specifications? Oh, it was it was off center line. So I was off the center line, and that's because it was a quartering tailwind, it pushed me off center line, and it gusted and pushed me off. So it was off center line, and long. There's not a length requirement for the soft field, but it was just long. So that's the bust. It is unlikely that I was going to finish that check ride on that day, unless with the 2020 hindsight decision of let's go back to Long Beach, finish that out, and come back. But even then, so what did you realize you missed the wind? Oh, wind. I realized it when I was getting pushed off center line. And when it's like it never landed. It just kept going, and I'm like, the winds are just totally screwed. It sounds like an absolute ass kicking, man. I'm sweating just listening to this. Dude, it was gnarly, dude. So after that, we debriefed. We went through that whole thing. There you go, 2.1, and then we have this beautiful little sweetheart. Nope. Hang on. I haven't logged this one yet. Here we go. Look at that. Oh my God. So chapter 3, we reschedule for a week out. I don't tell Julia that I'm doing it because she freaking had a cow. She's like, "Are you kidding me? I can't take this anymore." She's like, "I just want you to just go to the airport and do it and tell me when it's done." So, which is what I did. And these are the four laps. We had a go around in here, so you can see on this first one, the green, which is the speed, doesn't ever get too slow. So we did short field takeoff, into a short field landing, which we went into a go around, and then we did the actual short field. which I nailed that one. Taxi back, regular takeoff into the soft field, nailed that one. Taxi back, regular takeoff, no flap, slip. Call it good. She just wants $100 hamburger. Absolutely. Yeah, her wallet couldn't take it anymore. So that, I mean, look, that's pretty good. That's the first time I've actually seen this. I didn't even look at this. Let's see if how my altitudes were. Yeah, so it's homie. I am great, man. It was just such a freaking saga. This must have felt like just going for a flight with a buddy at this point. It kind of, yeah, it was like, the guy's name was Matt. It was like, hey, man. He goes, hey, Bill. I'm like, happy Tuesday. Like, yeah, man. It was so nice. Yeah, look at that. That's pretty consistent. Pretty consistent altitude. Yeah, those are pretty good. It's probably not going to really show too much beyond that, but you can see where that go around is, and yeah. Oh, I know, Ryan. It's so freaking cool. The first time I showed my dad this one time. I was like, okay, so Dad, you see here, like, this is the little trace and it's on Google Earth. He's like, yeah, and I go, check this out. And he's like, are you freaking kidding me? And it's like a cross section of like one of my longer flights, and it looks so awesome. But yeah. So today was like a nervous. Like, I was for sure freaking nervous. And just like thinking about every permutation of how it could go. Ultimately, it was like, did the 4 laps, locked it down, and he just was like, on behalf of the FAA, congratulations. And I still haven't shed a tear yet. I thought I was going to. So my first question of the night: did he distract you at all during the flight? Like you're climbing to cruise or whatever, and starts pointing something or asking something to try and see if you miss your altitude. He didn't do that, I don't think, to miss my altitude, but he did ask me questions. I think you could be right, that he may have done that strategically. It didn't feel like it, but he was asking me questions like right at the climb or like on short final. And I honestly didn't think, I wasn't thinking about it in terms of like, oh, he's trying to do this on purpose. I just did what I would normally do and say, like, hang on. I am not going to answer this right now. Shenanigans, thank you so much, man. Nocturne, so you only had to do 4 laps this time. Yeah, it was 0.6, logged 0.6. No, homie, I'm a pilot now. I'm a private pilot. My DP would shut up while I was trying to make my callback into the Delta. I heard a good one is asking if he wants a piece of gum during landing. Yeah, I mean, he was actually asking me questions, but I just on a few of them I just like, I don't want to answer that right now. Like, they were legitimate questions. It wasn't anything like goofy or gimmicky. It was like, okay, we're almost to climb. How do you plan on, what's your next waypoint and how do you plan on getting there? I go, can you let me, like, hang on, I'm gonna get into cruise here and then I'll answer you. He goes, okay, and just looks out the window. Thank you, homie. Where are you gonna go now? I know where I'm going for our first like actual flight, but I did my commercial this weekend. My DP said her mere presence was enough of a distraction. Nice, single coil. Yeah, we're gonna go. We've got friends that live very close to Gillespie Field, and that's gonna be our first actual flight. I need to get on the insurance for the plane, which hopefully won't take too long. Shoes, thank you so much, man. Good. Yeah, I know, Verity. Finally. So we might do go to LAX. We'll yeah, we can. Bill, has any of this stuff over the last couple months discouraged you from flying? I can imagine that all this would really wear you down. It has worn me down, like unbelievably. Not necessarily to the point of like tears, but I will be honest with you guys. It was close a few times. I really like it got so ridiculous where everything started mounting so much where it was just like I don't know if this is it. I had that feeling like I don't know if this is ever going to happen. And then the real pressure started where it's like, dude, I've like, what can go wrong? What else can go wrong? And it didn't discourage me. I didn't ever get discouraged. I just got like this sinking feeling like I know I'm going to do this, but like just how many of these things do I have to go through? It was just sucks. Where the fly-in, can I get a commercial right there? Yeah. So that's a good question. That's a good point, Ryan. Let me fly to Atlanta. Bamsar, no, I don't own a plane. I kind of I use a plane. It's not really like a rental, but it's a plane that I have access to that I guess you can kind of call it a rental. It's not like a flight school or anything. It's a private plane. Now that you actually have a ticket to learn more about the craft instead of strange regulations that you don't need to memorize. Dr. Ocean, that's one of the biggest reliefs that I feel right now is that I can actually now not have to dwell on things that I need to know just to pass the check ride. Stuff that is not really applicable. I don't have to use that stupid E6B, and like worry about how to do that. I don't have to do any more paper nav logs. Sorry, Ryan, if you have to do any more of those. They're really not that bad, but I don't have to do them anymore. Thank you, Doubter. I appreciate it. The brain dump post check ride is real. I'm so happy to be able to share this with you guys, but you'll be surprised how much you actually will remember without realizing it. Well, I think, or Yoshi, what probably what ends up happening is that once you get past the stress of having to remember it, you actually do remember it because it's stuff that you need to remember. And now your brain is not worried about the stress of a check ride and trying to recite everything perfectly to an examiner. Now you're just on your own and you want to remember it and you're not using up that brain to remember everything all at once. Now I know if I have a question, I can look it up. I can actually Google stuff now and not have to rely on memorization. If I have a question on a regulation or on the weather or something, I can ask in the Discord. I can text Brad. I can, look on various other resources. I don't have to just have the knowledge. Does this mean our next stream is going to be in the citation? Citation is going to be coming. I'm in the same boat. You and me both had check rides this week, and we're both done and no longer need to focus all our energy on check ride. Yes! Below minimums. It's a great feeling, man. It is an awesome feeling. Okay. So this is what is next. Hopefully some of it involves you guys. We're going, like Julie and I are going to go on a couple of flights. Where's the scotch? I'm going to get the scotch like ready to go here. So Julie and I have our Gillespie flight that we're going to do. That's our first flight together, is going to be Gillespie. I've been waiting till you started your IFR training. I'm right there with you, my dude. Nice. Um, awesome, Dr. Ocean. Yeah, well, it's going to start pretty much right away. IFR stuff is going to start right away. I've had plenty of alky tonight. Thank you very much, man. Um, Ryan, I don't, at this point, man, take it. You win. Ryan, please win. Get there. But so Julia and I are gonna go do our flight, and then now that I can we can talk about this and I can think ahead. Let's do a fly-in. No, it's okay, Ryan. I'm serious, but it's totally fine. I will happily I will gleefully watch you just soar right by me and have absolutely no competitive urge at all. But yeah, we gotta. I mean, this has been so long now. Not only has this ordeal been really long, but I was ready. I was check ride ready last July, but we had insurance issues, which you guys may or may not remember. And then it was, the plane was down, and it was just like one delay after another. Brad goes to flight safety for a week, so we lose a week there, and then whatever. So it went from being ready to go in July to now it's March the following year, and it's finally done. So it's been longer than just the last 3 weeks or so. It's been like a mental ramp up for the better part of a year. So now we can actually talk about stuff in the Discord that I've been wanting to do. Let me show you. I got a new toy. Julia got me a new toy for my birthday. All right. My birthday was February 8th. Let's see if this is gonna come up. I am really nice below minimums. I am really excited about this. I just got the rest of what I need, but this is going to be super fun. It's an Insta 360, and yeah, I've done some test stuff with it. I actually did a VR test video, and it's freaking sick. It's so sick. So that I'm excited to do that. We've got a couple of uses for that I think are going to be really cool. Start the IFR stuff. So Pilot Edge will, as soon as I do, I do want to refly the check ride. Thank you, Finbar. I do want to refly the check ride. We're going to still fly 176 because I'm going to be flying it in the real world, but we're also going to start doing some IFR stuff in Pilot Edge. I'm going to sit in the back seat and pretend Bill is flying me everywhere. Yeah, dude, it's going to be freaking cool. We're going to have we're going to try to mount this in the cabin and have a 360 view of inside the cabin where you can look around at what we're doing in the cockpit. And then we're going to also mount this on the wing strut and do some cool sightseeing flights that we'll prep in Pilot Edge and then do in the real world and debrief. So it's still going to be all the same stuff, but it's just going to be we'll see Julia more, and will not be held to having to do maneuvers. Like we're actually going to get to go fly places. So Julia is actually very excited to go fly and be on the videos again. She hasn't been in a while. Vatson Flyer, thank you so much, man. I appreciate all of the support and everything.
Cherokee 4 Foxtrot Golf, you contact downwind tower 126.8.
She misses it too. It's just, this has been like so stressful, you know, and like now I feel like we can go back to having fun. Not that this wasn't fun, like all the prep stuff, but I feel like we can now kind of just do whatever. It is so liberating now needing a CFI sign off. Oh, not needing a CFI signing off. Yeah, that's what Brad said when I talked to him today. He was like, dude, like you can just go wherever. You don't need me anymore. If your flying is before June, I may be able to go if Ryan joins me. No kidding. Okay. So I have some ideas that we had been. Oh yeah, homie. Yeah, we're talking like a real fly-in. How relieved do you think Brad is now? Very relieved. Bill is already calculating how far is too far to drive and needs a Skyhawk versus what flight is too long and it needs an airliner. That's really funny. Yeah, so I there's a couple of spots that I've been thinking it would be cool to fly. Dude, count me in for a fly-in. I have access to a 172 at Fresno Chandler. Sweet, Dr. Ocean. When we originally, like back in July, I am not kidding you. When we did this, when we were prepping for the check ride in July, this is like how ridiculous this has been. Make it further east. We had gathered a list of planes for a fly-in. Like, okay, July check ride's gonna be good. So you know, like let's have a fly-in in August. I mean, it's hot, obviously, but we're not gonna go to Big Bear. We had counted 20 airplanes for the fly-in. It was like, yeah, 19 or 20. I think we actually did hit 20. I don't think that was a round up. 20 airplanes, and we were originally thinking Camarillo, but I don't think they're going to be able to accommodate a 20 plane fly-in, and the restaurant does not take reservations. So there's a couple of other options that we have, and further east is actually not a bad idea, but there's a couple of options that I think would be good. Flaybob being one of them. It's kind of a tricky approach, but Flaybob is one. What was the other one? Havasu is another one. They've got like a restaurant right on the airport there. It just depends on who is able to come, and we'll probably start to gather what like an RSVP list, and then kind of pick an airport from there. So if any of you can come, please, like it's going to be freaking awesome. And if you're not in the Discord, go. You can click that link, and they'll take you to Discord, and we'll talk more about it there. So yeah. Well, we'll try to figure something out. We'll work. We'll be flexible with the date, and if we can find a time, that like as many of you can come as possible, we'll definitely do it, and let's make it sooner than later, for sure. Kern Valley, dude. That's on the short. Kern Valley is on the short list, and it will definitely be before June, without a doubt. So, all right, guys, thank you so much. Thank you for the patience. today getting the stream up and going. Thank you for all of the support. Thank you for like watching this stuff. I talked to the I don't want to say too much about him, but I talked to a guy who's got a T6 and T6 and a decathlon and a couple other planes, and he's super excited. And we're gonna potentially do some videos with some of those planes. So just now that I'm past over this hump and I can like start thinking about other things. I think it's going to be super fun. So as much fun as it was prepping all this stuff, and sharing with you all the check ride prep crap, I hope that it's going to get even more fun. Ryan, tailwheel, I probably not, I would think. Honestly, I think the next one would be high performance complex. But yeah, if we can use his tailwheel, if we can use that decathlon, I don't see why not. If we can, I don't know if we can or not, but. Thank you guys. I love you all. I'm going to get the audio situation fixed here, and let's do a check ride flight on Thursday, and from then we'll just start having fun after that. So thank you guys. I'm kind of excited to wrap up the stream because I want to go chat in Discord too. Group flight would be awesome. Yeah, next let's do a group flight on Tuesday potentially, because I want to do the check ride flight while it's as fresh as possible. John, thank you. Ryan, all of the Ryans, thank you to every Ryan. Kenny, thank you, dude. I appreciate it. All of you guys. Raven, B7, Nocturne, Single Coil, Dr. Ocean, Shoes, Homie, who am I missing here? Vatsim, Jananigans, Verdi, all you guys, Tech, thank you. I'm gonna save this VOD too, because I think I will want to. I probably won't post this to YouTube, but I will definitely want it to go back on this. Thank you guys so much. I honestly could not have done this without you. You've kept me sane, and I love you guys all. Brad just texted me that he landed. I have a present that I've been holding on to since October. I'm gonna go try to catch him at the airport. I love you guys. Bye.